I'm Karla Jenkins. I'm the cow-calf range management specialist for the University of Nebraska, based out of the Panhandle Research and Extension Center in Scottsbluff. And a team of animal scientists from the University of Nebraska did a survey to see what producers' perceptions were about methane production by beef cattle and its impacts on the environment and on cattle production. And interestingly, what we found from the survey was that producers in western Nebraska were the least concerned about methane impacts on the environment, followed by the central part of the state, and then the eastern side of the state, producers were the most concerned. We did find, though, that about 60 to 70% of them did not feel like beef cattle had a big impact on the environment. And about 84% disagreed that methane production impacts cattle performance. So that was kind of interesting, because if we can reduce some methane production, we might be able to improve cattle performance. And there are a lot of people that feel like cattle have a negative impact on the environment, that they produce a lot of methane. The reality is they produce a small amount of methane in proportion to other industries, but that seems to be information that our producers are not aware of and are not able to share as well with consumers that may have concerns about that. So they didn't feel very confident. There was only 11% of them surveyed that felt very confident about their knowledge of methane production in beef cattle or methane production on the environment. There was about 85–90% of them said that they were not in favor of the government regulating methane in cattle, and so they clearly want to be able to work on these issues themselves. So I think there's opportunities as educators to help producers understand what management techniques we're already doing that help mitigate methane, and what some other management things that we can incorporate that will help reduce carbon footprint, but also possibly improve cattle performance. And so there was a large percentage of them that says they were in favor of adopting management practices that would improve performance. So I think that from a standpoint of education, we have some work to do, and I think our producers will be even more efficient than they already are. We've already reduced the carbon footprint of beef cattle production 18% since the 70s, and I think we can reduce that a little more, but we also need to do a better job of telling our story about how efficient cattle actually are.